Why did you bring us here?
Your family belongs here.
That's a fucking weird way to put it.
It's official. We're over halfway to spooky season. Oh, I'm so excited. Aren't you? You're in for a treat. No tricks. Hello, world. This episode is going to be a follow-up to the best horror movies of 2024. These are the honorable mentions. For season 4, instead of combining my top 5s with the dishonorable and the honorable mentions, I decided to split it up into 2 different videos. That way the length isn't too long for either one. I'm trying to keep the videos within a reasonable amount of time.
I'd rather not spend the rest of this winter tied to this fucking couch!
So if I have to divide stuff up, so be it. And besides, it's just more content. For you, the beautiful people.
Come to me.
So, basically, there was a lot of great horror movies in 2024. So much so, it made it extremely difficult to make my top 5.
Spill your guts. Who wants to go first? All right, I will.
So, these are the movies that would round out a top 10 list if I had to pick 5 more. They're not really in any particular order, they're just 5 great horror movies from 2024 that didn't quite make the top 5 list. Let's get to the list. Shall we? Enjoy!
They're here.
Welcome to my channel. Thank you for clicking on my video. Hello, world! I'm Chris Maitini, aka Mr. FLIXTER. Mr. FLIXTER.
Hello, world! It's now a film critic extraordinaire. This ain't just a spoiler warning. It's the warning that these movies are really scary. But the real horror is running out of popcorn.
So, the first honorable mention. It's Nosferatu. Blah, blah, blah.
I'm ready.
Granted, there is the remake by Werner Herzog, and the biopic, quasi-biopic, Shadow of the Vampire, from 1979 and the year 2000, respectively. Those do exist, yes. However, if any horror movie deserves a remake to introduce one of Hollywood's oldest traditions to audiences nowadays with modern filmmaking techniques, it's Nosferatu. Nosferatu. Fun fact, the original came out in 1922. And I honestly consider this as one of the greatest movies of all time. That's right. It's got the Mr. FLIXTER'S seal of approval. The original silent film introduced iconic horror images like Count Orlok's shadow, him rising from his coffin, him burning in the sunlight. And it introduced vampire legends that continue to influence Hollywood today. So, the original Nosferatu from 1922 started off as an illicit version of Dracula, which wasn't in the German public domain at the time. Despite Bram Stoker's estate's protests, the film went into production anyways. As a result, a lawsuit was filed against the film, nearly destroying all the copies that were made. Thankfully, some had already been shipped out to other countries, and they survived to this day. So if we didn't have those, we would have never seen this movie. The 2024 remake was written and directed by Robert Eggers. He's hit and miss with me. I love The Witch and the Northman, but I hate The Lighthouse. The set designs, costumes, cinematography, and camera work are absolutely gorgeous. I also appreciate how Robert Eggers subverts expectations too. It's a different take on a demon possession story. Notice how I said demon possession. Oh, gotcha. My biggest problem is, it feels too much like a remake of every other Dracula movie. All the tension is completely obliterated if you're familiar with the Dracula story, even the slightest. Because if you've read the book, or if you've seen any of those movies, then you know what's going to happen. The characters just have different names. Bill Skarsgård is the Count Dracula character. Willem Dafoe is the Van Helsing character. Nicholas Hoult is the Jonathan Harker character. Lily Rose Depp, whose performance is awful, by the way, is the Mina Harker character. Aaron Taylor Johnson plays the Lord Arthur Holmwood character. Emma Corrin plays the Lucy character. Ralph Ennison plays the Dr. Jack Seward character. And Simon McBurney is the Renfield type character. The script could have told the perspective of another character to breathe new life into an old tale, but it doesn't. It's the opposite of what Renfield did, or the opposite of what Guillermo del Toro did with Pinocchio. And yes, Pinocchio's a horror movie. Have you seen Pinocchio lately? I know that scared me as a kid. Especially that donkey scene. The transformation for Litwick. And being swallowed by a giant whale. Horrifying. But anyways, I'm getting sidetracked. This is not a Pinocchio review. Let's get back to Nosferatu. So yeah, if you take away the gorgeous set design, costume, cinematography, and camera work, what we're left with is the same old Dracula story that we've seen before. After the scene in his castle, the story slows down immensely until it gets to the conclusion. And even that I found anticlimactic. The final shot of the film is unintentionally comical. At least I thought so anyways. Not tragic like it was preconceived. At least I imagine it was supposed to be preconceived as tragic. But anyways, yeah. Great movie. But it could have been better. I was hoping for something a little more fresh, a little more new. But hey, I still recommend it. Still a beautiful film. I give credit where credit's due. From a technical standpoint, it's gorgeous. But everything else is lackluster. It's overtly long. The pacing is off because the passage of the time is confusing. It's not all that scary, but if you're new to horror, I could see how it could be. And it just goes through the motions of every Dracula story. I get how it was going for a gothic romance, but it's more inadvertently humorous than tragic. With a handful of exemptions, the acting isn't particularly good. Worst of all, sometimes it's boring. but still, beautifully made film. I just think that a horror remake should approach the source material from a new angle, while being more fearsome than funny. I'd only recommend this to fans of Robert Eggers, or people unfamiliar with Dracula. A visual feast for the eyes still leaves me with an appetite for food for thought. Or blood. So, my official grade for Nosferatu is medium popcorn. And remember, then rave she must.
Sivers, no more ether.
But she will rave all the night.
Then rave she must.
So, the next honorable mention is Beetlejuice. Don't say it that third time.
The living, the dead, can they coexist?
Now's my chance.
I just want to start by saying that Tim Burton's one of my all-time favorite directors. Arguably, he hasn't had a decent film since Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. The combination of German Expressionism and Art Deco art styles in his films have a magnificently macabre nature to them. I went into this movie with low expectations, because legacy sequels don't usually have a track record for being any good. It's been so long since the original Beetlejuice. How could it possibly match the original? So, needless to say, I was pleasantly surprised to find out this movie is actually good. When I saw this in theaters, my screening was pretty full. The collective experience of laughter was intoxicating. I didn't love it, but it's not infuriating either, like Ghostbusters Frozen Empire or Hocus Pocus 2. Some subplots don't make sense, or don't end up mattering, or they're just so short-lived that they're just not memorable. Makes you wonder why they're even in the movie. You could take it out and it wouldn't affect the plot whatsoever. Just feels like filler. It does all get wrapped up pretty fast, too. It makes the ending anticlimactic because of it. I love the updated score by Danny Elfman, though. Also, it's well documented that Burton has wanted to do a Beetlejuice sequel for decades. But he would only do it under the right circumstances. Because of his passion behind the project, it really does feel like a true blue sequel to the original. You could watch one right after the other, and there'd be a consistency there. It does feel like the natural flow of things. But also, if you haven't seen the original, that's fine too. It stands on its own. So it doesn't feel like a blatant cash grab either. You can feel the love behind it. I love that. Subscribe if you love capitalism. Well, it could never measure up to the original. It does offer plenty of references to it. It just doesn't feel as kooky or emotionally weighty. But I still highly recommend it. So, my official grade for Beetlejuice is medium popcorn. Just like Beetlejuice says, I'm the ghost with the most, babe.
Confronting the unknown, conquering your fears, there's nothing harder.
What the f?
The next honorable mention is Lisa Frankenstein.
You know anything about the disappearance of a student?
You can talk to my lawyer.
Really hope this goth phase ends soon.
Fun fact. Director Zelda Williams is the daughter of Robin Williams. She has a clear cinematic vision that's shown through the film's bold, hyper-stylized look. Unlike most modern films, This flick is bursting with pizzazz. It's not just about the unique framing or shot composition. It's everything from the use of colored lights and quirky camera work. I especially love the utilization of tracking shots. I also love that animation sequence used for the opening credits. It feels like a loving tribute to Tim Burton and Henry Selick movies. It's got that same vibe to it too. It also serves as a brief montage for Cole Sprouse's character's backstory, used effectively. It's short and sweet and gets the point across. And this movie's had opening title sequences too. Too many movies just have boring opening credits, just the words playing. They used to have full sequences. It's an art form. So that's a nice touch. I also love the practical effects makeup. The way Cole Sprouse's character transitions throughout the film is amazing. And the gore effects are pretty good too. I'm surprised how gory this movie is for a PG-13 movie. It pushes the limits, and the payoff is spectacularly satisfying. The script was written by Diablo Cody, so you know it's full of snappy, witty dialogue. Like this.
I tend to his grave. I talked to him. I wish I was with you.
That's really weird, Lisa.
I especially love how the plot doesn't just subvert expectations, it blatantly defies them. Early on, it establishes that no one is safe, and it doesn't look back whatsoever after that. I do have some issues, like there's glaring pacing problems. It takes about a half an hour before it really picks up speed. The first half an hour is very slow. For example, by now, the dead mom backstory has become a cliche. So is that really necessary in this film? How come no one smells the walking, rotting corpse in the house?
No, don't cry. Your tears smell so bad.
How does a Victorian-era zombie know how to drive anyways? I have a ton more questions too, but the flick doesn't take itself that seriously, so I'm not going to take it that seriously either. Catherine Newton plays Lisa. As always, she does a phenomenal job leading the film. She's a great choice for this role. She's the kind of actress I'll watch her no matter what she's in. I even liked her in Abigail, even though I hated that movie. If you want to see my review for Abigail, I got a video called Dishonorable Mentions, where I talk about it. So I'll leave links below for that. Overall, there's several reasons why I love this demented romantic goth story. It's incredibly funny. The directing has so much character to it. It kind of reminds me of an Edgar Wright film. The acting is impeccable. Newton and Sprouse have incredible chemistry. It's such an exuberant, macabre experience. It also reminds me of 90s Tim Burton movies, like Edward Scissorhands and Beetlejuice. I guess if I had to make some other comparisons, it's similar story-wise to Corpse Bride, Jennifer's Body, Drop Dead Fred, and even some John Hughes movies like 16 Candles. So, my official grade for Lisa Frankenstein is large popcorn. And remember, as a critic, the least that I can do is be frank about this film.
And I can't fight this feeling anymore.
Well. Hello, world. This is Ursula. To quote my favorite movie film, would you fear me? I would fear me. Hard. Ho ho ho.
2024 was such a good year for horror. This was a tough list to make, and I struggled so hard where to place this next one, and it almost made my top 5. It was so close. This close. And that is Terrifier 3.
Who's this Santa? He's scaring my kid.
Yeah.
was written and directed by Damien Leone. This one stars David Howard Thornton, Lauren Lavera, and Elliot Fulham. This film has the highest budget so far out of all 3 Terrifier films, and they really put that $2 million to good use. The production value is through the roof. This is the best looking Terrifier film so far. This one actually feels like a movie. At first, I didn't really like the premise. It's all about what if Art the Clown was in a Christmas setting. But after seeing the film, I understand the logic. The point is to take a wholesome, happy, cheery setting and throw that darkness of Art the Clown into the mix. And trust me, this is probably the most violent Terrifier film so far, if you can believe that. However, this one does something the other ones don't do. This one targets children. While the kills don't happen on screen, they still happen. So consider this your trigger warning. Aside from that, this movie doesn't really hold back. Especially that shower scene. My goodness. And then the scene in the bar. And when Art the Clown tears that guy's face off. Or that rat scene. This has some of the best kills in the franchise. And this movie is by far the most funny. It is hilarious. David Howard Thornton gives his best performance as Art the Clown. His comedic timing has improved so much since the other films. You can tell he's getting more comfortable playing the character too. Despite the dark subject matter, he keeps it fun.
The most famous serial killer since Jack the Ripper. It's historic.
I love how Leone shot the film with different lenses to give this film a 70s or 80s vibe. It's just got a vintage look to it, similar to older movies. It's kind of grainy and it kind of looks like it was shot on film. However, I do have issues. I would argue this film doesn't have the same sense of dread that the other 2 films did. The solo Terrifier movies, that is. This is mainly because Art the Clown is treated more like a henchman in this film to Victoria, who's played by Samantha Scafidi. She was in the other movies too. She's got a bigger role in this one. I also noticed the absence of the little girl clown. So I'm curious, what happened to her? She was played by Amelia McLean. Let's have more creepy little clown girl. She was just quirky enough to match Art's energy. And she has such a unique look to her. I just like the character. I thought she was a great addition to part 2. Please bring her back for the next one. I missed her in this one. I guess, as far as the film explains it, that Victoria got possessed by the little pale girl, subsequently substituting her. But it's not entirely clear. Why not just have all 3 characters causing mayhem? That would have been awesome. And the rest of the cast does a great job of really building up these relationships that were established in part 2. I've grown to care about these characters, mainly because of the performances. They're just so endearing. Especially the Sienna and Jonathan relationship. They really feel like a brother and a sister who care about each other. Even though they have their issues that they're going through it, they're family and they're going to be there for each other. I love that you can just feel that through the performances and not much has to be explained between the 2 of them. It's good showing and not telling as far as character dynamics go. Overall, is Terrifier 3 the best in the franchise? No. I don't think so. My favorite's part 2, personally. But that doesn't take away from the quality of this film. It's still a good movie. I just thought part 2 had more of a sense of dread. And I thought it had a better story. I don't mind adding the supernatural aspect to the franchise, but this one goes so far down the rabbit hole that it doesn't feel as grounded as the first 2 movies did. I was also hoping this movie would answer questions left wide open in part 2. Aha! But it doesn't. So that's disappointing. The biggest plus this has going for it is this is the most violent in the franchise so far. It's full of gruesomely gory goodness. So, my official grade for Terrifier 3 is a large popcorn. And remember, as Stephen Sondheim says, send in the clowns. Don't bother. They're here.
I have to go back to the Terrifier.
It's still buried there, isn't it?
It might be the only thing that could stop them.
So, the final honorable mention would have made sense if it was called Longlegs. I'm talking about Sting.
It's all my fault.
We have to deal with this together.
That's your spider!
This is an Australian film that's all about a mysterious egg that falls from space and crashes through the window of a tenement building. And I gotta say, this space spider spectacle specializes in spookiness. Writer-director Kaya Roche Turner does a great job creating a quirky atmosphere, making it feel like kind of like an 80s creature feature full of over-the-top characters in a seemingly grounded setting. He immediately establishes a tone that this movie isn't taking itself too seriously, which makes it all the more fun.
You called about the noises in your walls, right?
Oh, no, not me.
You sure about that?
It's full of classic cheesy moments, like being stuck in a ventilation shaft and your flashlight's going out and the guy's trying to hit it repeatedly, trying to get the light going while the spider's coming toward him. Stuff like that is so cheesy, but I love it. I fall for it every time. The blend of humor and horror is well balanced. Shooting the way that they do in the ventilation shafts with the lighting and everything creates an atmospheric tension around these scenes that's undeniable. At the script's core is a tender human story with a relatable main protagonist too.
Every time I try and connect, she takes 2 steps back.
Night, Ethan.
The whole central main family is grounded for the most part, aside from the other kooky characters, and they really are the heart of the film. While the CGI doesn't always look so good, the animatronics are fantastic. They were done by Weta. That's Peter Jackson's studio. It's not over-reliant on jump scares either, which I appreciate. It's got phenomenal practical effects for the gore. While the gore isn't extreme in this film, the way that it's handled is impeccable nonetheless. It's full of gross-out moments too, which I wasn't expecting. So when it happens, it's genuinely surprising. But again, I gotta do a trigger warning, because the pets in this movie don't survive. So, you've been warned if you can't handle that. I love how this space spider starts off tiny, and then eventually this thing grows to the size of a Volkswagen. It's massive. Good creature features these days are hard to come by, and they really do a good job of making this monster feel like a living, breathing creature. It actually feels like it's alive. I love where the name comes from, too. Sting is a reference to Lord of the Rings.
I know what we're gonna call you. We're gonna call you Sting.
How can you not love that? Overall, I love this flick because it's a throwback to 80s and 90s creature features, with immense emphasis put on the practical effects for the spider. Sure, use the CGI when they have to, but for the most part, they make it work without it. That's awesome. It's a heapingly big helping of cheesy good fun. The gore isn't overly gratuitous, but it does get icky at certain points, especially if you suffer from arachnophobia. It's just the perfect blend of humor and horror. While it could have pushed the family narrative to dive deeper into what it's like in step-family households, it still works because not all movies are meant to be thought-provoking. And again, it establishes early on that this flick's not meant to be taken too seriously. So I won't. Because of the story and the practical effects, it's still wildly entertaining. Sometimes the flick being fun is enough to feel satisfying, especially when the ensemble cast is this good. It stars Alia Brown, Ryan Kaur, Penelope Mitchell, Robin Nevin, and Jermaine Fowler. He's the highlight as the exterminator, Frank.
That's your spider!
Mainly because his comedic timing and hilarious dialogue delivery.
And this poor motherfucker tried to squeeze through the bars.
Could it be rats?
Nope. Hell no. Rats don't melt their food before they eat it.
The directing amplifies the claustrophobic atmosphere. I'm not afraid of spiders, but this flick had me on the edge of my seat. It's similar to Anaconda, Lake Placid, Critters, and I'd even compare it to the first Alien and the first Predator. Fun fact, they even reference Predator in this movie. I love that. If you love the Predator movies too, I recently did a video ranking the franchise, so I'll leave a link below for that. So I recommend this if you like those. I love how the main character's name is Charlotte too. It's a great reference to Charlotte's Web. So, my official grade for Sting is medium popcorn. And remember, what would Wilbur do?
Spiders only know two things. Eat and kill.
So, Oisawa, which horror villain should I challenge to a fight next? Yeah. Oh, brother. I mean, sister. There's a clown outside with a garbage bag. You gotta be kidding me. Well then, I'll have to show him I'm a waggable cut-up. I think not, baby kitty.
This concludes my list of honorable mentions. These movies were great. I just didn't enjoy them as much as I did the top 5 horror movies of 2024. And if you haven't seen that video, I'll leave a link below for that, because technically this video was a sequel to that one. Do you agree with my list? What was your favorite horror movie of 2024? Did I leave anything out?
Leave comments below and we can talk about it.
Did you know that I'm a film critic for HorrorBuzz.com? You can read my reviews on their website, and I make frequent appearances on their YouTube channel, HorrorBuzz Live, so I'll leave links below for that too.